In this video, we are going through everything. The complete match summary, the catastrophic tactical mistakes that ruined Tunisia, the massive unexpected surprises that left the commentators speechless, and a deep dive team-by-team performance breakdown. Grab your drinks, lock in, and let's look at how the Yellow and Blue Army just blew the roof off the World Cup. All right, let's set the scene. Monterrey, Mexico. The stadium is bouncing. The Tunisian fans are making an absolute racket. Proper hostile environment. Sweden rolls up with their eternal number 2 goalie, the 36-year-old Kristoffer Nordfeldt, starting his first ever World Cup match. Absolute veteran hours. And from the first whistle, you could tell Sweden wasn't here to play safe, defensive Scandinavian football. They came to hunt. It took exactly 7 minutes for the tactical plans to go straight out the window. Tunisia's backline tries to build from the back, mistake number 1. The ball gets turned over. Abdelmouhib Chamak, the Tunisian keeper, finds himself caught in absolute no man's land. He's stranded. There are literally 3 Tunisian defenders scrambling back, standing on the goal line like they're playing Sunday League rush goalie. The ball lands at the feet of Brighton's 22-year-old midfield maestro, Yasin Ayari. Now, a normal player digs out a pass. A normal player panics. Ayari, he looks up, checks the geometry, and lofts an absolute guided missile from outside the box right into the top corner. Boom, 1-0 Sweden. And here's the crazy plot twist for you guys. Ayari's father was actually born in Tunisia. He could have played for them, his celebration, completely muted. Pure respect. But on the inside, he knew he just dropped an absolute nuclear bomb on his dad's home country. Talk about Thanksgiving dinner being awkward this year. Tunisia is trying to recover from the shock, but Sweden's front 2 are just a different breed. If you watch the English Premier League or the Champions League, you know all about Viktor Gyökeres and Alexander Isak. They are a literal cheat code. Gyökeres gets the ball on the wing, drives forward, drops a beautiful, filthy little turn that leaves Montassar Talbi looking for his map, and clips a perfect ball inside. Alexander Isak pops up, completely untracked and clinical as you like. Slots 2-0. At this point, American fans tuning in on Fox are thinking this is a blowout. Canadian fans are text messaging their friends saying Sweden is winning the whole thing. It looked too easy. But wait, football is a funny game. Just when Sweden thought they could coast into halftime, Tunisia gets a set piece. Hannibal Mejbri, yes, the former Manchester United wild child with the iconic hair, steps up. He whips in an absolute peach of a cross. A glorious delivery. Omar Rekik times his run perfectly, gets a glance on it, and guides the header past Nordfeldt. 2-1. The Tunisian fans go wild. Sabri Lamouchi is celebrating on the touchline like they just won the lottery. We've got a game on our hands, folks. Halftime whistle blows, 2-1, and the momentum has completely shifted. Second half starts, and everyone is expecting Tunisia to come out like a house on fire. Instead, they decided to hand Sweden a Father's Day gift on a silver platter. Ellyes Skhiri, the captain, the veteran, the guy who is supposed to be the anchor of this team, tries to get cute in his own half. He tries to dribble right into a high-press trap. Brother, what are you doing? Alexander Isak, who has the wingspan of an NBA player, just robs him blind. Isak uses his raw strength, shields the ball, and squares it to Gyökeres. Gyökeres takes one touch, buries it into the back of the net, and runs to the corner flag to do his iconic locked fingers mask celebration. 3-1. The wind was completely sucked out of Tunisia's sails. It was a self-inflicted disaster. Potter decides to make some changes to save legs. On comes Mattias Svanberg. I am not exaggerating, guys. He was on the pitch for 16 seconds. His first ever touch of the game. Isak gets the ball, makes a slight delicate tap to feed Svanberg, and Svanberg smashes it home. The linesman puts his flag up for offside, the whole stadium groans. But then, the VAR room rolls up, the ref is holding his ear, he points to the center circle. The goal stands! Isak's toe kept everyone on side, giving him his second assist of the night. 4-1. To wrap it up, in the dying seconds of stoppage time, Yasin Ayari decides one banger isn't enough. The ball breaks to him at the edge of the box. He takes a smooth as silk first touch, gathers his balance, and unleashes an absolute screamer with his right foot. Thump. 5-1. The goalkeeper didn't even bother moving. Game, set, match. Sweden climbs to the top of Group F, and Tunisia is left wondering if they accidentally flew into a hurricane. All right, time to put on our analyst hats. Let's talk about the absolute disasters and mistakes in this match, because a 5-1 scoreline at a World Cup doesn't just happen by accident. It requires a specific level of tactical self-destruction. And today, Tunisia gave us a masterclass in how not to play football against an elite European press. If you are playing against Alexander Isak and Viktor Gyökeres, what is the #1 rule? Don't give them space to run behind you. They are Olympic-level athletes with elite finishing. But for some bizarre reason, Sabri Lamouchi set up Tunisia with a high defensive block. Look at this tactical footage from the 30th minute. Jan Valeri and Montassar Talbi are pushed up almost to the halfway line. Why? Sweden doesn't play possession for the sake of possession under Potter anymore. They hit transitions instantly. By keeping a high line without putting intense pressure on the Swedish midfielders, Tunisia gave Sweden's front two a green light to run into acres of space. It was tactical suicide. It's like trying to race a Ferrari in a Honda Civic and giving the Ferrari a head start. Let's talk about the third goal, because it made me want to pull my hair out. Ellyes Skhiri is a top-tier midfielder, a guy with loads of international experience. But in the 59th minute, he made a mistake you don't even see in MLS or the Scottish Premiership. Sweden sets up a classic pendulum press. They intentionally leave the central passing lane open, wait for the ball to go to the defensive midfielder, and then three players close the cage. Skhiri received the ball with his back turned to the play. Instead of playing a simple one-touch pass back to his center backs or out to Ali Abdi on the left flank, he tried to turn into the pressure. Isak picked his pocket like a seasoned London pickpocket. You cannot turn into pressure against a Graham Potter team. It's exactly what they want you to do. Abdelmuhib Chamak had a night to forget in goal. For the first goal, his positioning was shocking. If you are going to sweep out of your box, you have to win the ball. You can't just wander out like you're looking for a lost dog in the park. His clearing header was weak, his recovery run was slow, and it left his defenders stranded on the line. Throughout the match, there was a visible lack of communication between Chamak and his center backs, Omar Rekik and Talbi. They were constantly stepping into the same zones, leaving huge gaps for Sweden's runners. Now, let's flip the coin. Let's talk about the good things, the elements of this match that left even the most hardcore football tacticians completely stunned. There were story arcs in this game that felt like they were written by a Hollywood scriptwriter. We knew Yasin Ayari was talented. He's been cooking under the radar, but nobody, and I mean nobody, expected him to drop a matchday one performance like this. 2 goals from outside the box in a single World Cup game, that is Steven Gerrard or Frank Lampard territory. What makes it so unexpected is how cool he was. The tactical intelligence to realize the keeper was out of position for the first goal, and the pure technical technique to hit that half volley in the 96th minute without slashing at it. It shows an incredible level of maturity. For a guy who had the weight of playing against his father's nation on his shoulders, he didn't just handle the pressure, he turned it into diamond standard performance. Before the tournament, the big debate in Stockholm and across European football media was whether Isak and Gyökeres could coexist in a 3-4-1-2 system. Critics said they both want to occupy the same spaces, that they both want to be the main man, and that it would create a tactical logjam. Instead, what did we see? Pure telepathy. It was beautiful. For Isak's goal, Gyökeres provided the assist. For Gyökeres' goal, Isak provided the assist. They weren't fighting for the spotlight, they were sharing it. They operated like an old-school strike partnership. Think Andy Cole and Dwight York for Manchester United, or Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge for Liverpool. If they keep this up, Sweden isn't just a dark horse. They are a genuine threat to the heavyweights. In the second half, Graham Potter subbed on Lucas Bergvall. At just 20 years old, this kid officially became the youngest Swedish player to appear in a World Cup match since a guy you might have heard of. A small unknown player named Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Think about the mental pressure of that stat being flashed on global television while you're walking onto the pitch. But Bergvall looked smooth. He didn't look out of place for a single second. He was demanding the ball, linking up with Mattias Svanberg and showing exactly why elite clubs across Europe have been fighting for his signature. The future of Swedish football isn't just bright. It's blinding. Let's do a deep dive team analysis, starting with the victors. Graham Potter's Sweden set up in a flexible 3-4-1-2 formation, which turned into a devastating 3-2-5 when they were attacking. Let's break down how each department performed. Kristoffer Nordfeldt didn't have a massive amount of work to do, but at 36 years old, his communication from the back was vital. The three-man backline of Gustav Lagerbielke, Isak Hien, and captain Victor Lindelöf looked incredibly comfortable dealing with Tunisia's long balls. Lindelöf operated as the classic ball-playing defender, stepping into midfield to create passing overloads, while Hien played the role of the enforcer, winning every single aerial duel. The only blemish? The 43rd minute goal. They completely switched off on Hannibal's set-piece cross. Lagerbielke lost his man, and Lindelöf didn't step up to cover the near-post zone. Against a team like the Netherlands or Brazil, that kind of defensive amnesia will get you punished. But overall, a very confident display. This is where the game was won. The wingbacks, Alexander Bernhardsson on the right and Gabriel Gudmundsson on the left, ran themselves into the ground. Gudmundsson had a massive fitness doubt before the match, but he recovered in time and put on an absolute clinic in fullback tracking. In the center, Jesper Karlström played the unsung hero role. He was the vacuum cleaner, sucking up loose balls, breaking up Tunisian transitions, and giving Yasin Ayari the absolute freedom to push forward and cause chaos. The tactical discipline of this midfield allowed Sweden to maintain 65% possession in a stadium that felt like a pressure cooker. What can we say that the scoreline hasn't already said? Benjamin Nygren played in the hole just behind the strikers, acting as the creative connector. His movement between Tunisia's defensive and midfield lines completely destabilized their marking system. And up front, Isak and Gyökeres were a 10 out of 10. They stretched the defense wide. They dropped deep to create space for on-rushing midfielders, and their clinical finishing efficiency was scary. 5 goals from an expected goals XG of just 2.1. That is elite level efficiency. Now let's talk about Tunisia. Sabri Lamouchi set his team up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, aiming to sit compact and hit Sweden on the counterattack using the pace of Elias Skhiri and Ismail Garbi on the wings. On paper, it makes sense. In reality, it collapsed like a house of cards. Abdelmohib Chamak is going to have nightmares about Yasin Ayari for the next month. His positioning was erratic, and he didn't inspire any confidence in his backline. Center backs Montassar Talbi and Omar Rekik were left completely exposed by their midfield, but their individual decision-making was also poor. Talbi got turned way too easily by Gyökeres for the second goal, failing to show the striker onto his weaker foot. The only positive spark in this entire defensive unit was Omar Rekik's attacking contribution. That header was a beauty. But your job as a center back is to defend first. And letting a team score 5 goals against you in a World Cup opener is unacceptable. Rani Khedira, the brother of World Cup winner Sami Khedira, was playing his first major competitive game for Tunisia, and boy, did it show. He looked off the pace. He and Ellyes Skhiri were completely overrun by the dynamic, energetic movement of the Swedish midfield triangle. Hannibal Mabry showed flashes of his undeniable quality. His assist for Rekik's goal was world-class, the kind of service strikers dream about. He played with his trademark passion and grit, but sometimes that grit turned into frustration, leading to silly fouls that allowed Sweden to slow down the tempo of the game whenever Tunisia tried to build momentum. Hazem Mastouri had the loneliest job in the entire world today. Up front as the lone striker, he was a total ghost. But you can't blame the guy. He received absolutely zero service. The wingers, Achuri and Garby, spent 90% of the match tracking back to help their fullbacks deal with Sweden's overlapping wingbacks. Tunisia's transition play was non-existent. Every time they won the ball back, they turned it over within 3 passes because Sweden's counterpress was so relentless. It was a tactical chokehold. So what is the big takeaway from this Monterrey madness? For Sweden, this is a massive statement of intent. They entered this tournament after a very rocky qualifying campaign, with fans skeptical about Graham Potter's vision. Tonight, they didn't just answer the critics, they completely obliterated them. They sit at the top of Group F, 2 points clear of both Japan and the Netherlands, who played out a tense 1-0 match earlier. Sweden is in absolute pole position. For Tunisia, it is back to the drawing board. They came into this tournament boasting a stellar defensive record in African qualifying, but they just got hit with a massive reality check. Their next match is a must-win clash against Japan on Saturday, June 20th. If Lamouchi doesn't fix these defensive gaps and tactical communication errors, it's going to be a very short, very painful World Cup trip for the Eagles of Carthage. But hey, I want to hear from you guys. To all my viewers in the US, Canada, the UK, and across the globe, what did you think of Sweden's performance? Is the Isak Gyökeres partnership the best duo in the tournament right now? And can Tunisia bounce back against Japan, or are they completely cooked? Drop your thoughts, tactical rants, and score predictions in the comments section below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel for daily World Cup breakdowns, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, football fans, keep enjoying the beautiful game. Peace out.